Client counsel confidentiality. Communications from a client to his or her attorney, that's confidential. We've all seen the old movies where the bad guy meets with his attorney and says, hey, I know nothing's going anywhere because you can't tell anybody what I'm telling you. And that's absolutely true. Very important protection under American law. All right, but what happens in today's world when communication is taking place in different ways, such as email? Does that same kind of client counsel confidentiality apply in all situations? Well, that takes us to this week's case. Involves a woman in New Jersey. She worked for a corporation there. She wasn't happy with them. They weren't happy with her. She thought she was going to get fired. She said, if they fire me, I think I will have a case for employment discrimination. So she was already starting to see a lawyer, and she was writing the lawyer on her laptop emails that were explaining what was taking place, and they were having an exchange of emails. Well, she did get fired, and the laptop that she was using belonged to her employer. Employer took it back as part of the deal because obviously that was their laptop. And when they took it back, they found those emails, or some of the emails that she had been sending to her attorney. They began using them in defense of the action that she brought against them. They understood the strategy, they understood a number of things. Well, when she and her lawyer found out about this, they said, this is absolutely foul. You can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. Called it to the attention of the trial court. Trial court looked at it and said, well, wait a second. This is a situation where the employer had a clear protocol regarding lack of privacy on a laptop that we own. We own the laptop, you use it for communication, we have a right to know what those communications are because they're supposed to be for the betterment of the company. Trial court listened to that, and trial judge said, you know, that's right. They have a right to that stuff. Well, it was appealed. It was appealed to the New Jersey Supreme Court. There, the New Jersey Supreme Court said, hang on a second. This is a situation where she was communicating with her attorney. She had to do so, in some instances, using email, and she needed to use the laptop that she had with her to do that communication. And in this instance, she used what they described as an encrypted second account, not the account that was used by her employer. Probably an account like Gmail or something like that is what she was using. She sent those to her lawyer, and she had every expectation of privacy. Therefore, it's wrong for the employer to use those emails in this litigation. Plain wrong. But the cat's already out of the bag. They already used some of that stuff. So what are we going to do? We're going to send it back to the trial court, and we're going to tell the trial court to enter sanctions, meaning some kind of fines, against the corporation for violating the client counsel confidentiality. That is how important this client counsel confidentiality is. Court went a long way to see that it was protected. You need to understand, however, that when you are communicating with a lawyer, you need to do so in such a way that you can assure that confidence. In this instance, what she was doing, she was using an encrypted email account. She didn't keep, in this instance, the password on her computer. It would just happen that some of the emails remained resident in the computer, but she was doing everything she could to try and protect that communication. If you make a communication with a lawyer that involves that you've got somebody else standing there, that's not a confidential communication. If you make a communication in which you then review the response from your lawyer to somebody else and say, this is what my lawyer said, look at his letter, that's no longer confidential. Need to be careful, need to look upon it as a private communication, and it will be protected. All right, that's this week's case. We bring you a case every week so you understand how the law works. I'm David Allen.